New mystery surrounding One World Trade Center. For about a year, New Yorkers have reported hearing an eerie sound coming from the newly constructed building. They call it haunting, and it's got a lot of people talking. Rick Leventhal joins us now. So, Rick, you went down there. You did some investigative work. What did you learn?
Well, there's clearly a noise. It's not clear exactly where it's coming from. It can create a sound that some are calling eerie, haunting, even moaning. The whistling was first reported by the Tribeca citizen on the day after Thanksgiving. A man who lives a couple blocks from the almost completed One World Trade Tower wrote a local paper and said he first heard the sound during Hurricane Sandy last year and assumed it would be eliminated when the building's framework was finished and the windows installed. Well, then last week in the middle of the night, the neighbor says the tower began whistling again with a slightly different two-toned cry, calling it unmistakable and very chilling. So here it is, and you can judge for yourself.
I was on my way to conduct another business transaction, and I ran into an individual. A very strange thing happened at this point. He was very, very excited and began to talk to me about something he had just experienced. I'm going to go fairly quickly with this so that we can move along. This is a very poor rendering, but we are putting together a very good rendering of this. This man has said to me, Ken, I introduced myself to him. He was very excited. He said, "Have you got your identification mark?" And I said, "I don't know what you mean. What's an identification mark?" He says, "They've just enacted a new identification mark. And by the way, this started with a voluntary implementation first. You did it voluntarily first. This man told me you ought to get yours done real soon to avoid the hassle, because soon everyone, they say, will have to have this to conduct business." Now, what I want to show you is, this is a poor drawing because we weren't artists, and I am a stick guy drawer, so please bear with me tonight. I will explain what the one I saw looked like. On the web of the right hand, this individual had what looked to be like the sunburst of Mexico. Anybody ever see the sunburst of Mexico? You know, it looks like a sun with a face on it. That's what this kind of appeared like, except these rays right here, they didn't look like that at all. If you could picture in your mind the sunburst, and then all of a sudden, like a hologram, beams were coming out of it as rays. This was another palm. This is upside down. I don't know why that happened. We made a mistake. Actually, I didn't do this, but I'll take responsibility because I don't want my friend to get the bad rap on this. I love that guy, so yeah, I do. I don't want to tell about him. This hand actually was facing just like the right hand was here, the same direction. Excuse me, it was inside of this, and there was another emblem just like this one on this hand like you see in the web. Okay, this guy was very excited about this. He was very happy because he said, hey, we won't have to use these stupid cards anymore.
Like one of them is the mechanical mismatch between humans and electronics, right? So electronics are boxy and rigid, humans are curvy and soft. That's a mechanical mismatch problem. Well, a researcher at the University of Illinois, his name is Dr. Rogers, what he did is he founded a company and they started making electronic tattoos. So I'm wearing one here on my arm.
Do we have
Here.
a camera to get a...
This is a developmental system made by MC10, and it has an antenna and some sensors embedded in it. And what we plan to do is work with them to advance a tattoo that could be used for authentication. Now, it may be true that 10 to 20-year-olds don't want to wear a watch on their wrist, but you can be sure that they'll be far more interested in wearing an electronic tattoo, if only to piss off their parents. That's something that you wear, but you could also imagine including authentication in just your daily habits. So I take a vitamin every morning. What if I could take vitamin authentication?
What?
Vitamin authentication. Look, I have one right here. Well, here, I'll let you hold it. Would you like to hold it?
I'll hold it.
Okay. So this...
You guys see it?
This pill has a small chip inside of it with a switch, and they power it up, and the switch goes on and off. And it creates an 18-bit ECG-like signal in your body, and essentially your entire body becomes your authentication token. Yes, this is true. Okay?
Okay, but...
Okay, so wait. So it's really true. So what this means is that becomes my first superpower. I really want this superpower. It means that my arms are like wires, my hands are like alligator clips. When I touch my phone, my computer, my door, my car, I'm authenticated in. First superpower. Like, I want that. It means that my arms are like wires, my hands are like alligator clips. When I touch my phone, my computer, my door, my car, I'm authenticated in. First superpower. Like, I want that.
This is FDA cleared?
So here's the thing. This is not science fiction. This pill was actually made by a company called Proteus, and they've developed it for medical applications. That pill has been CE stamped and cleared by the FDA.
Does Google now know everything I do and everywhere I go? Because let's face it.
If you have never heard of Bitcoin, you are probably not alone, but the online currency is gaining popularity around the world, and now in eastern Kentucky. WIMT's Brittany Nada looked into the cyber money to try and answer some questions about how it works.
City commissioners in Vico recently passed a measure to pay its police chief in Bitcoin. It may be a forward-thinking movement, but many of you probably do not understand how it works.
Bitcoin is a new currency traded against the dollar, yen, euro, and every other currency around the world.
Israel is ready for historic peace, and it's a peace based on 2 states for 2 peoples. It's a peace that Israel can and must be able to defend itself by itself with our own forces against any foreseeable threat.
In the days and weeks ahead, we will consult very closely and continually with our Israeli friends in order to bring about a comprehensive agreement that can withstand everybody's test.
But one of the things that you talk about in a broader perspective is global powers trying to rearrange themselves into a new global world order.
I think we have to watch it carefully to see whether, in fact, this is the opening of a new moment in international history.
Very interesting.
Now, this mark, I want to tell you about it, was very strange to me at this point because shortly after the dream, actually, no, not shortly, again, I want to get these dates correct for you. 1993, the Lord spoke to my heart and said, take up the game of golf. And I said, that probably wouldn't be a good idea, Lord, because you remember my temper in high school with golf, and I would probably lose my testimony on the golf course. Are you sure you want me to play golf? He says, yes, I want to have you get relaxation and teach you about character. You need some. I said, okay, Lord, I'll do that. And so I began to take up golf, and like most other golfers, you either love it or hate it. I totally loved it. I dressed the part. I had the clubs, but I couldn't play. And so I would buy my golf balls at Kmart because they were very, very inexpensive there. Anyway, I'm at Kmart, and I hope if you work at Kmart, you're not mad at me tonight. But what I'm going to tell you is a shocker, and it's been confirmed now in 4 cities on the tour. I went up to pay for my golf balls, and as I put them down on the counter, I looked down and noticed this very unusual pad on the checkout counter. You know how you go to the grocery store where they weigh the vegetables and stuff, the little pad there? Well, at this Kmart, there was a little, like about the size of this overhead tonight, about an 8.5 by 11 gray-colored pad with a hand sitting down on it. With the, not exactly that, because again, that's a very poor rendering. We will get the new rendering out, by the way. Stan was telling me we'll get it to you. But I saw this exact rendering that I saw in the dream sitting on this pad. Excuse me. I asked the lady, can you please tell me what this is all about? And she said, I'll have you know that they just recently put these in, and we're not exactly sure what is going to happen with them because they didn't tell us everything. She said, but a supervisor told me that what they're planning to do is sometime in the future just have a person run their hand by, and that will take care of the scanning. Somebody might be here tonight that's seen these same handprints on these pads in some retail outlets. I've heard they've been seen in Walmarts and some other, I don't know the names of East Coast stores. Somebody was telling me some the other day that they were found in. And another thing they told me was exactly what happened to me. I began to witness to this lady, by the way, and was able to, I wish I could have told you I led her to faith in Christ, but I wasn't. But I shook her to the core of her being. I told her some things about the Antichrist, about the mark of the beast, and then I told her a few things about her mom and dad and her home life and all that. And she didn't want to accept Christ, and the lady in line with her big bag of popcorn was getting a bit irate with me. So, but I'll have you know that she got rattled. And about 2 weeks later, it was gone. And some people told me, yeah, we're seeing him come and go. It's kind of weird how it's happening.
The world is on the verge of global change. The speed of data transmission has increased by multiples of millions. The rate of globally significant events and that of discoveries and crises is growing exponentially. Our civilization is like an uncaptained ship sailing on rough seas with neither chart nor compass. All the while moving faster and faster. The time we have to make the right decisions is shorter and shorter. We are facing the choice to fall into a new dark age, into affliction and degradation, or to find a new model for human development and create not simply a new civilization, but a new mankind. Historic crises show that to break the deadlock, we need technological revolution. It is clear that today's revolution will also require the deepest social transformation. The world's community and leaders should encourage mankind, instead of wasting resources on solving momentary problems. To focus on the technologies of the future: nanotechnology, biotechnology, information technology, cognitive technology, genetics and robotics. Doing so will allow us to find new sources of energy, create fundamentally new architecture and transportation, allow unprecedented developments of human cognitive abilities, refine artificial intelligences and brain-computer interfaces, simulate complex systems, create humanoid robots and cyborgs, and with the help of nanorobots, we may develop manageable matter. Find ways to transfer one's personality to an artificial carrier. Yet what we need is not just another technological revolution, but a new civilizational paradigm. We need new philosophy and ideology, new ethics, new culture and new psychology, and even new metaphysics. This is an adequate response to the challenges of our time. Thus, new reality and future man will arise. Could it happen spontaneously?
Alligator clips when I touch my phone, my computer, my door, my car, I'm authenticated in. First superpower. Like, I want that.
But, you know, the whole move of these implants, there are a couple of stupid companies like the Microchip Corporation, with all its various names, that come out and say, oh, well, we want to sell this as a product. I don't think it's going to happen that way. People don't want an ID microchip. But if you turn around and instead say, you'll be able to listen to music and access Facebook and you know, get your email through this little implant, you're going to have a stampede of people wanting to do it. Because